This is part two of the topic, using Minolta 35mm lenses on Sony Alpha DSLRs. We discussed crop factors and Minolta lens types and some of the other aspects. There'll be an important background and a prerequisite for watching, probably this lesson and probably the one after it. So if you could review those, I would appreciate it. Well, let's get started again. So that we can be on common territory, I do believe, and many other people believe, that the advancements in optics have not paralleled the advancements in electronics in the newer cameras. Basically, what you've got is you've got lens elements that's issued above, which are individual lens elements, and then you have lens groups. The reason that they do not group all the elements together is some of them have to move independently, and in addition to that, where the lens groups are cemented together, the reason that they can cement them together is because they have identical faces on both sides. So if one's concave, one's convex, they can cement them together, but many of the elements they can't. Now, this led to a problem in the early optics around the turn of the century, where you would get reflections off the sizes, and based on the number of sizes, what you would get is it would just wash your image out. You basically had no contrast. It was a flat image. What they've come up with is what's called lens coatings. The reason I'm mentioning this about lens coatings is what I'm trying to instill into you is the fact that if you have a good old Minolta lens, you have a really fine piece of optics. What the lens coatings are basically they're a coating applied in a vacuum that is the thickness of sometimes just a few molecules. What it is, it's a quarter wavelength, and it's like splashing two hands in a bathtub where the waves will cross each other and cancel each other out. And what it basically does is it drastically reduces your reflections and greatly improves the quality of the image. So with the lens elements and the lens groups, eliminating a lot of the lens aberrations as far as optical the transmission light is involved, and also your lens anti-reflective coatings, reducing the reflections, you really come up with a fine piece of optics. This has not really advanced very much in the very recent past. Actually, the SLR and the lens coatings, well, the SLR was introduced around the turn of the last century. It did not really achieve prominence until after World War II. And the anti-reflection coatings were actually a German World War II secret. It was developed by Zeiss. And in the picture above, what we have is in the Minolta factory in 1968. What they do is they apply the coatings to the lens in a vacuum, and they can control the amount of thickness of the coatings. And this was the same technique that was used in the 1940s by Zeiss. One of the absolute wonderful things about the Sony Alpha line is you can go out and you can pick up these used Minolta lenses and actually have a fine set of optics to shoot with for a very, very low cost. I currently have several Sony Alpha cameras. I have the A300 and I also have the A850. I'm going to, in the next video, I'm going to show you examples of the above lens, which is the 35-70 zoom, the f4 autofocus Minolta, mounted on both of the cameras, and I'm going to show you exactly the results obtained with both. The wonderful thing about it is you might go out and spend a few thousand on an 850, but what happens is I went out on Craigslist and I found a series of 4 Minolta lenses, the above being one of them, with 2 old Maxim bodies that were both broken, Maxim 7000s. And I paid $120 for all of them. So what I basically got is I got 4 beautiful lenses. I sold the Maxim bodies for a few dollars, and I ended up with about $70 in 4 beautiful lenses for my Sony 850. You really can't argue with that because the optics really are superb. What you want to do when you look at the lens, or when you buy one of these lenses, is take the lens cap and the front cover cap off and shine a flashlight and look at the internals of the lens. If you see discoloration on the barrel on the side of the lens, on the inside, that might indicate fungus. And if that is the case, you probably do not want to buy that lens. Another thing that you want to look for is that the diaphragm, the aperture, actually looks like it's clean and not oily, and that it very easily operates. It snaps instead of operating slowly, or you'll have exposure problems. Also look at the general condition of the lens. If there are any scratches or anything on the glass, it's going to be too expensive to fix. A good cleaning on a lens could be $75 to $200. So what you probably want to look for is a very, very clean, well-maintained lens that is not going to have to be touched. There are a lot of them on eBay, but be careful. Buy from somebody very reputable, because what happens is you can get stuck. There are a number of used lens dealers, and if you check around on the web and query the used Minolta glass, you can probably find something that you really like. So that's going to conclude this part 2 video. In the next video, we're going to take a look at lenses both mounted on the 300, which is the APS-C sensor, and also on my 850, which is the full frame 35mm size sensor. And we'll look at both detailed views and so on and so forth. So let's get into it. Let's stop this video and we'll watch the next one.